How's it going? Today I am trying to beat the game by surviving every floor in this game. I want to show you how I did that, so come with me. I started by choosing the heroes Sarah and Dina. These two are alright, I don't mind them. I didn't end up using them a whole lot, mostly because, in my opinion, they're not all that good. Now let's go over some of the character traits. The characters that you can pick from have health, regen, defense, speed, DPS, which is damage per second, their damage input, their speed, and wit. The more wit you have, the more power you get from creatures. Every character has an active and passive ability. The active ability has a cooldown, while the passive ability does not have a cooldown. Dina's unique ability to heal, though, it's pretty good, but it was not for me. And Sarah's ability to just run fast did not appeal to me at all, and it rarely helped my situation. The thing I did like about them is that they worked well together. They had an ability where if another hero had the same ability, they would get a buff off each other. And that's something I ended up liking in every character, so I tried to get it whenever as possible. Now let's see how my first few runs went. Now the way you escape a floor is you take that yellow diamond to this extract, and that's when you move on to the next stage. So if I wanted to beat the game, that's the first thing I would have to do, which kind of proved to be a struggle for me. The thing I really like about this game is that you can build inside these rooms. You have to power them first, which is the yellow bar on the top. To get the three main resources, which is industry, science, and food, you have to build these hubs to generate more on that specific floor. There's also defensive buildings, which are attack, defense, and support. Looking back on it, I did not use these enough, but I eventually learned that I do need to use these. So what you're looking at there is a research crystal. You need these to upgrade the buildings that you place in the rooms. You need two better buildings that you could place inside the room, like the hubs or the turrets that you can place in powered rooms. This is how you fail a dungeon, is by letting the monsters destroy the crystal. Not only can they destroy it, but every time they hit it, you lose power, losing how many rooms you can power up. So obviously you really want to protect this crystal. Obviously, you don't want your characters to die. The way you can keep them alive is by feeding them food. You can do that even in the heat of battle, so it's kind of handy to have a lot of food. Some rooms have chests or vendors in them, which can give your characters items. Items do the regular things in RPGs. They'll buff your stats, give them new abilities, and they're genuinely a good thing to have. By leveling up characters, one of three things happen. You either get a new active ability, you get a new passive ability, or buff their stats. And sometimes you get a combination of them, but you want to upgrade your heroes as much as you can. So now that I have all the doors open, literally all I have to do is pick up the crystal and leave. Moving on from this floor. Oh shit. Well, now I know what that is. So, that didn't go too well. For my second run, I went with Gork and Max. I really like these characters. They're a pretty good duo. Gork is basically just a tank that can do a lot of damage and takes a lot of damage. Max is an engineer. He can just fix buildings, or he could even boost them. These characters also have the ability that I like, where they work better as a team. So with that being said, let's see how my second run went. So how the turrets work is that they only shoot at anything in the room. You can't shoot anything outside of the room. Once again, I have to extract. Oh, God damn. Yeah, so I'm not doing too good at this moment. Let's try that again. What I just put down there was a defense item. It's called Pepper Spray, and it turns the enemies against each other. These can prove to be very useful, especially the Pepper Spray. I really like the Pepper Spray. The defense turrets don't necessarily do damage. They'll have an effect on the creatures. So now that I've built up enough turrets, I feel confident in extracting now. Well, would you look at that? I beat my first floor. Only 11 to go now. After that big yet small victory, I've learned some things from that floor. First, I do need to use those turrets more. Like I said, those really carried on that floor. If I didn't have those, I probably would have died again. Second, it's important to power the right room. What I mean by that is that creatures come from unpowered rooms, so if you power the right rooms, like the ones going to the extract, then they're not going to be in your path, and it's a lot easier to get to the extract. Now let's see how far I can get, shall we? Oh! Okay, I get it now. It appears that your resources carry on to the next floor. This is something I would have to manage if I wanted to succeed in the future. That right there is how you unlock characters in this game. You recruit them in the dungeon while you're playing the game, and you have to last a certain amount of floors with them to actually unlock them. Hey look, another new thing to me. So these bigger crystals give you boosts on the floor that you're on, and they only last for a certain amount of time, which the time being how many doors you open. These are pretty useful, but I didn't really notice what they did, to be honest, but I still think they're pretty good. So what you're about to see is my character dying because I was an idiot and was not paying attention to his health. In my experience, you really want to keep these guys alive because you put so many resources into them. At least I do. So one of them dying kind of sets you back a lot. Well... Yep. Yeah, that didn't last long. What I learned is that I, once again, did not use enough turrets. I also learned how to get new characters in that run, so this was actually really good information for me moving forward. So in these next runs, I must have done better. That's one stage down. Time to keep going. How about another one? That was close. You see that there? There's only one guy on the platform, and 2 of my guys survived when I extracted. That's because you have to have both guys in the room, and that is something I did not know. But with this loss, I still had to keep going. Oh my god. Okay, at this point, I know a little bit about what I'm doing. I feel like this could be the run where I beat the game. I've learned how all the characters work, I've learned how items work, I've learned how building works, and I've even come up with a strategy on how to beat the floors. My strategy is get a lot of industry at the beginning, and then just keep producing food and science. That way my guys are super leveled up, I have plenty of food to heal them, and I have upgraded stations if I need them with the science. Okay, so that's pretty bad. I just lost my tank, and I'm pretty far. I do not want to lose right now, but it's going to be pretty hard. Now that I've lost my tank, it's going to be harder for me to keep my guys alive. And as you'll see, it really cost me. So this is the end. All my characters dying. That was a pretty good run. It wasn't good enough. Hopefully in the next one, you'll see me make it.